What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 2 of my Total War Warhammer 3 High Elves Melee Only Challenge campaign. So, as we saw last time, we have taken Galbaraz, which is pretty critical to our conquest of the Badlands due to the Oath Gold mine present there, but have otherwise been, well, surrounded by tons and tons of enemies. We did manage to capture Wurzag just barely at the end of last episode, but Skarbrand is now here with a full stack, and certainly a stack that should prove difficult for us to deal with. There's another Bloody Hands full stack right there at Grand Mingle, and then of course Malagor is hanging around in the sunken Khorne arc where we are not sure when and where he will attack. Should be interesting. Sorry about the delay on this episode. Unfortunately, I have had a brutal work week over here, but fortunately it's the weekend now, so a little bit more time to play, and I do have vacation coming sooner rather than later, so hopefully even more time to pump stuff up. Anyway, what we're gonna do this time is to try to go after Skarbrand. We'll see if he tries to besiege us, but with Elena right there. And in fact, wait, maybe we want to put Elena a little bit further away. We don't actually want Skarbrand to... well, actually, kind of hard to say what we want here. Whether we want Skarbrand to try to attack us outside the settlement or not. You know what, I think we're fine as we are. What we do, however, want to do is upgrade the manor at Galbaraz, as our growth is very, very much insignificant, and we really need that tier 3 in order to get access to Silveran Guard to replace our spears, and the Oath Gold mine at tier 3 as well. We will also say not collect the income just to get a bonus control, as the plus 100 or so gold is not significant enough for us to be concerned with. Then we'll go into Athel Tamarha, and we're going to unlock the second capture point. If we can manage to pull off a win against Skarbrand, maybe we'll be able to capture him as well. Though, well, it's a pretty big if as well. Otherwise, I believe we're good. Nothing here will be all that helpful for us in battle. I'd like to save the Vol's Hammer ability out of the Invocation of Vol for when we attack a big settlement with walls, so for now I think we're okay. Otherwise, let's get ready to end the turn and see how Skarbrand reacts to all this. Well, let's hope that he stays or attacks us. Oh, and he is in fact going to stay, and he is in fact going to go into raiding stance. Well, can't complain about that. Alrighty, and it seems that, Gorfang Horned here is also kind of sitting around nearby. Now, while we... oh, Rock-Up Dynasty's been destroyed. While we... Armor of the Stars don't particularly, I should say, care about Grand Mingle, I suppose the additional growth that it may provide out of the port would be valuable if nothing else, so we may want to claim it if nothing else, and just for that. Now, Eltharion's holding on to his points. We are going to want to continue leveling Mr. Cavill here, and probably want to go towards life leeching and metal shifting, which means grabbing evasion right now. You have to get to level 12 to get all the good stuff, so we ain't gonna waste your points, but let's double check if we got any items that we may want to replace somewhere. I don't think we do, though. I think they're fine as they are. Keep the Scroll of Blast, and yeah, that's about it. There's also seems to be a consensus based on the comments from the previous episode, and why did I... okay, well, whatever. You get another spear. Consensus as to using buff magic more than damage magic, which, you know what? Fair enough. We can do that. Why not make it even more challenging? Screw you guys. Alrighty. Let's see about Skarbrand here. Oh, those bloodletters are gonna be very tough, and I just don't know how we're going to bring Skarbrand down, but we'll give it a try. Fortunately, with him being in a raiding stance, at least the vigor will be problematic. Maybe we can steal an item, would be nice as well. But yeah, bloodletters versus spears is not a great matchup for us, and of course the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, but well, at least there's not a lot of them. 110 armor plus frenzy and 3942 without considering the frenzy buffs. They are just so much better than spears, it's hilarious. Oh well, good luck spears, let's see what you can do. Alrighty, apparently it's required for something. Thanks for letting us know there, Eltharion. Anyway, here we go. Pretty exciting battle, I should say, as every single one of the enemy melee units should, in theory, be superior to ours. I would expect it would actually at least take 2 of our units, maybe even 3, to bring down a Chaos Warrior. The Bloodletters should be able to rip our spears apart, but due to their own fragility, will also take damage. Either way, it's going to be difficult to fight the enemy melee in particular, though probably not the Furious, as at least they are fairly fragile. Now, we have taken a fairly decent position over here where we have a slight elevation advantage and this impassable terrain in this little cliffside here, and in the meantime, Eltharion's going to just book it forward by himself and try to peel away a few of those enemy units. Furies and other such flyers are actually a pretty good target for this, as they have a bad tendency to blob up in the way that they're doing, so that any kind of splash damage ability will be inclined to damage them fairly heavily. And it looks like they're willing to send a second unit of Furies out to fight Eltharion. Not gonna complain about that. The more we can take out from this army like this, the better, and while Eltharion will take damage over time doing this, he can always apotheosis himself or get an Earthblood from Henry over there. Let's see. I haven't renamed you yet, but I will. I will remember to rename you. Anyway, here come the Rangers. We're gonna send them in by themselves. The Rangers instead of the Spears because they're considerably faster and are obviously damage dealers. And while the enemy is distracted by Eltharion, hopefully they can mince a few of these Furies. Of course, this does annoy the enemy army a little bit, and in fact, by the looks of it, sufficiently to send more troops forward. So we're gonna have to do damage and then back the heck out of here. Let's see. Oh, it looks like a third unit of Furies has arrived, as well as a unit of Warhounds. This, of course, means that we can't just run, so we're going to pop Apotheosis on the Rangers this time instead, and then combine that with a basic level of Vissen's Wild Form to give them a little bit of armor and damage. 60 armor, a little bit better. Not as much as I'd like, certainly, but enough to hopefully hold off against the Furies and the Doggos, as they are much better against lightly armored units, and well, 60 armor I would say is mediumly armored. Anyway, this is only the beginning, and here come the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Ain't no way Rangers are going to be able to fight those off, or even damage them, really, so we're going to have to try to back off as best we can. Alrighty, Eltharion's running away from there, and we're going to send at least one unit of Spears to cover the Rangers' retreat and block any units that try to chase him down. Fortunately, the Furies do seem to react to that. Perfect. At least the Rangers won't die. Well, some of them have, but all of them won't. 4 units now set up to essentially hold this flank. We have more units of Rangers as well as the Athel Tamarha Faith Bearers are readying to loop around and start hitting those Chaos Warriors of Khorne, as those are going to be difficult to bring down. We want to use our damage dealers and our best unit, the Faith Bearers, to fight against them. Over on this side, we have basically 2.5 ranks deep of spears, which will hopefully hold off Skarbrand. The goal here isn't to damage or really hurt Skarbrand, it's just to continuously distract him with spears, as well as the rest of his troops, while we slowly eat away at the flanks of his army and destroy the Chaos Warriors, destroy the Bloodletters, and I think he has a Blood Reaper somewhere in there as well. There he is. And all that's going to take time, but it's much easier than dealing with Skarbrand. And of course, if we can manage to do all that, Skarbrand will melt away, and due to his leadership. Alrighty, keep on holding spears. This is an atrocious matchup for you, unfortunately, so the Bloodletters will be dishing out some heavy casualties if we're not careful. But it's not like we have much of a choice in the matter. Alrighty, on the bright side though, we have started to surround those Chaos Warriors of Khorne. The Ethel Tamara Faith Bearers are hitting them in the back, which should be helping out a little bit. And here come those piles of Rangers as well, getting ready to help surround those units. And we can see how little damage so far the Chaos Warriors in particular have taken, though the Bloodletters at least have started to take a few hits. Their model count is still reasonably high. There is also another unit that peeled away from the enemy army here, a single unit of Bloodletters, and we have our reinforcement army with all these additional spears ready to poke them from every single direction. And led by the princess, who will never be able to get to use that bow. But hey, just like those archers that we started out with earlier, she's able to use that bow in melee. At least you can bonk people with it. And there we go, Skarbrand's still getting distracted, getting his fire breaths on, but fortunately that's a big old pile of spears, and while he probably won't get brought down by them, at least he is distracted by them and not hurting any of our important units. Alrighty, and it does look like the surrounding of the enemy is pretty much complete. While their army is not completely enveloped, I did say that we want to essentially chip away at the enemy flanks. Fortunately, the enemy has blobbed up 5 of the enemy melee units around Skarbrand, well, it used to be around Skarbrand, and that's obviously working for us because it'll allow us to surround them even further. And it looks like the Chaos Warriors and Bloodletters on this flank are having a pretty bad time of it. The Faith Bearers and the Rangers hitting them in the back, while the spears act as the anvil, and Eltharion, of course, fights in the center of it all. There we go, nice hit, nice hit. Now we just gotta get Eltharion leveled up enough to buff everybody up with his unique line, as well as to get him Stormwing. And with his flying mount, he should be a lot more easy to reposition, though of course we'd probably want to use that in this situation to cycle charge rather than to go after Skarbrand, as once again, I'd prefer to leave Skarbrand alone at the current time. Alrighty, and the balance of power has certainly shifted in our favor. The enemy army is well and truly enveloped now. Skarbrand surrounded by 4 units of spears. They're not letting him do anything. The princess running around to try to help out with whatever other units are holding, and Eltharion pushing in through those Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Eltharion looks really happy as he is dishing out that melee damage, and I suppose as well he should. Huh. Interesting. Wait, I didn't realize. Does Eltharion lose one of his weapons when he's mounted? Yeah. He only uses his spear rather than spear and sword. Or did the sword just perhaps disappear? No, it just looks like he has his spear. Huh, kind of interesting. I wonder, does he get his sword back once he has Stormwing, or does he... Well, I guess we'll find out when he levels up. Yeah, he has the sword sheathed at his side. It'll be interesting to see. Not that it'll matter, because most models that have aerial mounts don't actually attack when they're on their aerial mounts and allow their mounts to do so instead. Anyway, I digress. It looks like the enemy has, in fact, shattered while I was yammering away, and that flank having been destroyed, all those Bloodletters surrounded, means that Skarbrand is the only one left. Granted, he still has 4,000 HP left, and probably still at least a few spearmen kills in him to add to that 140. Actually, at a comparison, Eltharion has killed 86, which is respectable. Could be better, but respectable. Now moving in with Eltharion to go after Skarbrand, obviously one-on-one, and this would not have worked out. Eltharion isn't actually that great of a duelist lord. He's not like Imric or like, there goes Skarbrand. Angry as usual. He's not like Imric or like Tyrion, but he's decent enough. Gotta remember that Eltharion is a hybrid caster lord, so he's not quite the duelist, but he does have other benefits, let's say. Anyway, with that, the army shatters, and actually, the damage isn't so bad. We'll see in a second. Alrighty, there we go. That actually didn't go too bad at all. Certainly not nearly as bad as I thought it might. We didn't manage to steal an item from Skarbrand. He had all green items and we only get a Berserker Sword, even though that sounds appropriate for what's going on here. But anyway, several things were to our advantage in that fight, namely the fact that we had a little bit more in the way of troops, that we had a decent terrain to force the enemy into, well, at least portion of their army into a blob, and the fact that the enemy managed to waste at least several of their units of Furies trying to go after Eltharion, and that one solo unit of Rangers, which I assume is this one because it got the most hurt and did the most damage / got the most kills, so well done to you, Rangers. We are going to... I'd love to take the money, but we're gonna have to heal up because there's an Orky army nearby, and I don't know whether we can reach it, but if we can, we are gonna have to. And no, we cannot, unfortunately. Hopefully they can't reach Galbaraz, as that would be really unfortunate. But more importantly, we've got Blood Quencher, charge bonus and weapon strength for Lord's army. I think Eltharion and his melee troops can certainly take good advantage of that. We got the Talons of Torquelada, but more importantly the Scions of Mathlan, as well as a free Armor of the Stars, though this frankly isn't gonna be all that useful to us. I take it that the armor is only usable on the unit that is carrying it, right? We wouldn't be able to like use the stock / unspottable on one of our rangers, I take it, but I guess we're gonna find out. We'll put it on you for now, and we'll get something a little bit better for Eltharion, and we should probably destroy Korath here. Are we anywhere near rank 12? Unfortunately not. Oh well. Alright, so Elena, I would like you to go here. And I would like you to kill Mr. Korath. This one should be auto-resolvable. And hey, free battle banner. Area augment leadership reduction of enemies. It's actually fairly useful, especially against the forces of Khorne. This is not much healing, so I think we're going to ransom captives for the additional little bit of influence. We unfortunately can't go into ambush, damn. I was hoping if we had been able to ambush, we would have been able to trick this guy. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have had Elena attack this guy, and then Eltharion to ambush, but oh well, what can you do? We'll put you back into Lilith's Blessing, I guess. Like so, and then you two will stand together. There's no way this guy attacks us, but if he backs off to Gronti Mingle, we can simply follow him there. And Elena, do we want you to recruit? Well, either way, we want to get the Scions of Mathlan on the team. A little bit of help from this unit, as it gives that aura of protection. And I guess we'll take out one of the other spears, although... Well, we could probably recruit another ranger. Alright, take whatever spear is the most hurt for you. And we'll go with you. Although, you have a slightly higher rank. Let's go with you. Then, we're gonna have you recruit... Wait. Have you recruit the Scions of Mathlan, and then I guess we'll get to another one of these rangers, although we're gonna start having to be careful with our cash, because it be dropping, and that's going to get concerning, because we won't make much until we're tier 3. But anyway, let's see about anything we can do here. Non-aggression pact with Leoness. That's very specific. I mean, sure. I think we have a quest to do a non-aggression pact, and they're the only ones that are willing to right now, so why the heck not? Non-aggression pact with you. Give us a little bit of cash before you inevitably die or get absorbed by the Bretonnians in Lewin's faction. Eltharion's so close to rank 12, but not quite there. But you, Mr. Cavill, you can now have... Do we want life leeching or metal shifting first? I'm gonna say life leeching. Oh, we can get them both. It doesn't matter. And here I was going to deliberate. There you go. Somebody suggested you can be Henry Cavill. And I believe that's all we can do for this turn. So skip, 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 and end the turn. Alright, let's see if Gorfang does anything. I sincerely doubt it, but, you know, it's a possibility. And, Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I'm gonna call this pulling a Skarbrand because he probably shouldn't have done that. It does, however, mean we get another battle pretty much immediately. And hello, Vambraces of Defense. Ooh, that's nice. That's real nice. We need to research 8 technologies. Well, we're working on it. It's gonna take some time, but should be easy enough. This will also allow us to level up to level 8. Beautiful. Alrighty, let's get you another ranger. The other ranger, I should say, instead of you. Am I going too heavy on the rangers right now? No, but we need damage dealers. These guys will eventually be replaced by white lions, war lions, anything that's more of a damage dealer, whereas the majority of these guys will be replaced by Silver and Guard and Ethel Tamara Faith bearers, not breakers, and then whatever swords masters and other elites we can get, though it's going to be a while before we can tech up, judging by the growth. Also, we need another warden supply, because that would allow us to interrogate these guys. Unlock the interrogation chamber and then get buffs for our Mistwalkers. On the bright side, keeping these 2 guys imprisoned is going to be quite swell. Especially as we have the buffs for defeating them both now. Which are both quite nice. Anyway, that's about that, so let's... Would this guy run across the river? You know what, I'm not willing to risk that. Eltharion, go here and attack him from this way, so that if he runs, he does not run that way. He's not gonna run, okay. We'll take the battle banner, we'll put it on... probably the Scions of Mathland. They're going to be our aura carriers, and they're going to be pretty much in the center of the line, so that would make sense. And here we go, another blob of orcs to melee up.
Whatever aids Yvresse.
Alrighty, well, the thing that aids Yvresse most is probably killing all of these orcs right now, and go figure, that's what we're gonna do. Of course, we are going to take our positions first, because we do have reinforcements coming in, and hey, 5 extra spears are nothing to sneeze at in the early game. And now, as for the importance of this battle, I would say that it could potentially be pretty important, since this is the second full stack, and Wurzag's stack has already just been destroyed last episode. There is unlikely to be too many more. This is the early game after all, and the Bloody Hands have what, like 4 maybe settlements to their name? They can't have that many stacks, and if we can do a good job of destroying whatever they have left here, we should, in theory, be able to destroy the faction fairly quickly, especially due to their proximity to our current army, as opposed to Skarbrand, which we'd have to travel fairly far away to destroy. Still, this is going to be a short victory after all, and we have to keep in mind the campaign objectives. Alright, Scroll of Blast coming in. I'm not going to use the general magic damage, but I mean, if we have items, we may as well use them, otherwise it's kind of a waste. The melee line is holding. Look at all those spears poking away against those savage orcs and their axes. Now, the concerning bit about this particular battle is going to be the fact that the enemy has a fairly decent pile of range units, 6 orc error boys to contend with, so we're going to try to loop around with our rangers as we do over on this side, and then an additional force over on this side, and hope to catch all those error boys before they can do too much damage. Alright, in the meantime, Eltharion and the Lore Master there have caught the enemy lord, who is just about done for, while all of the spears hold in the background. Alright, chase him down, Eltharion. We don't have the cage, unfortunately, because we do have both Skarby and Wurzag trapped, but that's just fine. Down goes the enemy lord, and another head hits the ground. It does seem the orc lords have a tendency to lose their heads, in more ways than one. Their ways, rather, than one. Anyway, keep on holding. We are obviously repeatedly casting Apotheosis as well as Earthblood on the enemy, and appear to have started to open up a hole through the center of the enemy line. In the meantime, our rangers have arrived, and it looks like the orc air boys boys are going to start running, but they're about on par in terms of speed as the Rangers, so as long as they're not broken, they will begin actually fighting. And the Rangers should have no problem at taking out an enemy, well, ranged unit. Alright, just watching them do a little bit of work. Of course, the Rangers will eventually be replaced in our army. They are not really good enough to keep, but we do need them for now. We'll probably end up using White Lions and War Lions in place of them. Although I'm not 100% sure as to the final form of our army composition, we're definitely going to need to get some Dragon Princes, no doubt about that, because, well, the ability to chase things down with Cav is going to be very important for a melee army, as otherwise we're going to have to refight multiple battles as enemies escape, especially later on if we get, for example, the Skaven declaring war on us. That'll be, well, that'll be an issue. Anyway, the bounce power has shifted to about 85, maybe even 90% in our favor. All of the enemy range units have been absolutely ripped apart by our rangers, which is absolutely appropriate. And maybe we should call them anti-rangers. And then with the enemy's range units destroyed, the rest of our units have enveloped the enemy melee, as they tend to do, which is lovely. We did have this nice impassable terrain here that allowed us to force the enemy to blob up, which is always to the detriment of the AI, as it is wasting way too many troops in the middle of that blob that aren't currently attacking. You gotta increase the surface area of your unit mobs. Alrighty, and we can see the Athel Tamarha Faith Bearers hit the Savage Orcs in the back, and it looks like the enemy is getting ready to shatter. And just a few more kills, I imagine, and they will be done for. Alright, Eltharion having a difficult time getting through his troops, but it doesn't seem to be all that necessary anyway, and it looks like with that, the enemy army breaks and another battle is ours. Let's see if the enemy has any more of these stacks left. The Bloody Hands, I mean. And I think this is the first campaign where I generally wish that I had Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma on somebody just to slow enemies down a little bit so we could chase that much better. We should probably heal because I probably would want to auto-resolve the rest of these guys, even though the money would be swell as well. Let's see where you run to. And don't run too far, please. Now we're okay. Yeah, a little bit of, well, Assured Assailant. Great.
I serve the Phoenix King.
I would like to proceed to Granti Mingle, but obviously we can't do that right now. Eltharion did level up to 12. You know what? Just to save on a little bit of movement, we're going to move you here. Then we're going to have Elena attack this. Auto-resolve it, obviously. Hopefully that didn't do too much damage to us. 57 losses. Hey, free Dawnstone, though. Can't complain about that. Let's ransom those captives. And good. And obviously the Dawnstone, for now, goes to Eltharion until we can get him that other item, the Vambraces of Defense. Elena, you're gonna sit in Galbaraz because I don't trust it not to get attacked by somebody. And then Eltharion, you're gonna start marching all the way to Granti Mingle and hopefully take it. We'll want to take Granti. And we'll probably want to raise Ekrund and Dragonhorn mines, A, for the Warden supplies, and B, just so that they don't continue building up and irritating us here, and especially while they remain relatively weak. Now, more importantly, we have Storm of Blades now, so it's a power-up for Eltharion. We want to get Break Upon the Walls, which gives us armor for all shielded units, and Unending Volley for missile units, which we won't be using. But as I said last episode / when we started the campaign, there's a reason why Eltharion's generally played as an all-ranged army. Armor 15 when defending wall and garrison buildings. construction cost and construction time. Now that's not bad. And I guess the question is it better than one of the other things here? Cooldown to Mistwalker Barrage. Enemy leadership -8. Ooh, that is definitely necessary. And I like the campaign movement range and the global recruitment. And okay, we have to get Grim Discipline for the expert charge defense for all Lord's army. And Grim Discipline, melee defense +12 and melee attack +8. And then Martial Mastery replaces, well, Grim Discipline replaces Martial Mastery and Martial Prowess. We also have Dedication to Ladriel, but this isn't particularly useful to us at the current time because we don't have that many of the Mistwalker units. Now, out of curiosity, would you be able to reach Granty Mingle in a single bound next turn? I'm gonna hope that you can, but nonetheless, just in case, let's get Unyielding March. Alright, and then you can stay there. You, Henry Cavill, are going to get us Earthing and Magical Reserves ASAP, then we'll start leading into... Oh! Melkoth's, for example. I guess I maybe should have spent 1 point in it so we had a slightly better way of chasing, but a little bit late now. Anyway, I believe that's it, so we're gonna skip, and turn, proceed to Gronty, and then all the way to Ekrond and stuff. We'll probably also want to make an alliance with the dwarfs or whoever's around here, as we don't want to be fighting everyone. And we will also probably want to burn down the Sunken Kernarch just so that we don't have to deal with their nonsense for a while. And Helm of Yvresse, control +5, armor, leadership for Lord's army, it's all swell. And oh, all we have to do is own 2 provinces. Oh, I was never gonna bother to do that. Okay, fine, we'll own 2 provinces then, just to get the Helm. Fine, game. If that's the way you're gonna play it, we'll give this a read once the quest is complete. Establish a trade agreement. We'll do that as well. Beric Var has been destroyed. Ooh. Looks like the... Disciples of the Maw are doing pretty good. Well, there's a decent likelihood that we will be fighting them at some point. Now, Eltharion, quickly retake Granty Mingle, please. This should be auto-resolvable. Generally speaking, I know I said I wasn't going to risk auto-resolving, but this should be okay. Auto-resolve this. Hopefully that'll level you. Another Armor of the Stars. How about a armor that isn't terrible? We're going to occupy it, mostly for the growth. And Heralds of the Wind, Illyrian Reavers with bows. Do we want these guys? We don't have to use their range attacks. We can use them in melee to chase things down until we have white lions. Although I suppose the rangers are going to be better in melee. I think we'll hold off on it for now. Let's get Wall Warden for the armor when defending, but also the construction bonuses. We'll want to build defenses. And, ooh... I was gonna say immediately upgrade Granty Mingle, but we might be better off just straight up upgrading Galbaraz in 3 turns. Yeah, I think we'll get Galbaraz instead. It's much more important, let's face it. Alrighty, and also, how long does the Invocation of Assyrian last? It is for 5 turns, meaning... If we do this, we'll have to choose between saving money. Okay, well, it'll be the Oath Gold Mine when you're at tier 3. Alright, I guess we know what we're doing then. And then we'll skip the rest of this. We'll go to Diplomacy briefly. And, we can get a trade agreement with the... Okay, Knights of Origo are dead. It's Rapunce that I wanted to do a agreement with, but that ain't gonna fly right now. Border Princes are basically dead. Not much point in wasting our trade agreement on them. Alright, we're gonna have to wait, and Khorne, nearly there. We could potentially get some more melee troops from them if we wanted to. But anyway, let's end the turn. And we're just going to keep Skarby and the Wurzag locked up for now. I'd really like to get them interrogated, but we need 1 more point of supplies, Warden supplies, whatever they're called. Alright, Skullcrag destroyed, don't care. Elena's got bonuses, good. Savage Blow, well, swell for melee troops. We'll want to proceed to Ekrond and to Dragonhorn Mines. Looks like we can't reach them in 1 turn, which means we'll March Stance. It'll be somewhat concerning. Okay, let's just be careful. Are we going to run into a full stack? Well, there's a stack here, but it's not full. I think we'll be fine. You're still okay.
I'm waiting.
Nothing to do there. Alright, well that sounds to me like we got another end turn. Well, let's see if these guys attack us, but if they do, I'm still reasonably sure we can handle them. Ooh, Christ got destroyed. Huh. Interesting. It looks like the Slaneshi are doing good, and damn, they did take the chance here, and oh, they have a feral wyvern on their hands as well. Okay, this may have been an error on my part. But if we can pull this off, then Ekrond at least is screwed. I guess here we go, another good old-fashioned melee battle.
Within reason.
Alrighty, well... Within reason, I'm not entirely sure what exactly you're referring to there, Eltharion, but I guess we'll see. Either way, this is a potentially dangerous battle. We're obviously all tired, and the enemy has a fairly large mob between their main stack, their Wa, and the reinforcements, as well as some heavy hitters, the Wyvern, the Trolls, a couple lords, and a decent amount of cav in the form of the boar boys and the wolf riders. And I'm just gonna speed this up a little bit as we get into position and the enemy waits for their reinforcements to arrive. Obviously, we could have tried to rush them, but we wouldn't have gotten to their lines before the reinforcements did anyway, and we have a decent amount of impassable terrain to make use of here, some of which would have been perfect for our range units if we had them, to fire down on the enemy here, but oh well. We shall do with that. These guys are going to have to try to hold, and the Silverian Guard as well as the piles of spears are here, and I believe the Scions of Mathlan are going to join them as well, who I believe we haven't actually taken a look at, though. They're honestly very similar, other than their shields, to the regular spearmen. But we'll see them in action shortly. And then over on this side, we have the 2 units of spearmen around the trees, and then within the trees, if anybody wants to fight them there, and the rangers to take advantage of their woodsman buff thing. And they can fight in the trees for once, though you don't encounter a lot of trees in the Badlands, do you? Anyway, here come the enemies. Fortunately, the Silverian Guard should be able to take the brunt of the charges from the more threatening units, like the Trolls and the Orc Boys, but they obviously won't be able to hold by themselves forever. The Wyvern, in the meantime, is flying overhead, and who will you decide to go for? Huh, looks like it wants to go for Eltharion himself, which is fantastic. Funnily enough, I was going to send Eltharion to hunt the Wyvern down, but it looks like the Wyvern is going to be very obliging today. And very, very nice. And of course, we can reinforce Eltharion by sending a few spears this way, though it looks like the enemy has something of a similar idea with regards to its range. Fortunately, the impassable terrain here is working once again to our advantage, as a massive amount of enemy troops are forced to blob up around the Silverian Guard, and while we will be taking casualties at this rate, I think we should be able to hold. Alrighty, at the very least, hold down here. Let's see how we're doing up high, where most of the enemy, not artillery, which is good because we would have had to have marched forward instead, which is where most of the enemy cavalry, rather, have congregated. We did leave a decent amount of spears on the flanks, specifically so as to not get charged by those cav units, and it does look like they are working for us, as in the spears on the flanks. Keep those boar boys away from our own flanks, and don't let them rear charge anybody. The wolf riders are fragile enough not to be a particular concern either way, and we do have the Athel Tamarha Faith Bearers leading this particular flank, or anchoring the flank, I suppose. Which makes sense considering all the boar boys there could be potentially dangerous. Then we have our woodsmen, our rangers, fighting a unit of trolls and orc boys, but in a place where they hopefully have at least a decent advantage despite being, despite being tired. Though I suppose with the enemy getting tired as well over the course of the battle, eventually that disadvantage will dissipate. And then we'll be on a relatively even terms. Alrighty, unlike the last battle, tactically this battle isn't particularly difficult in the sense that there isn't much in the way of controlling units, though I guess that is about to change. We finally opened up a hole in the middle of the line, which will allow a few rangers to move through our own forces and the enemy forces which are currently in battle and head directly towards those enemy Savage Orc Error Boys. Can't be allowing them to continue firing at us. I believe there's another unit all the way back there. Alright, and we can see that Mistwalker Barrage, or I think it's Mistwalker Barrage, active on Eltharion, who's currently found the enemy Night Goblin Warboss, and the Night Goblin Warboss is shattered as well. Well done, Eltharion. Alrighty, now it looks like at least down here the last of the enemy units are getting ripped apart, and the spears, well, Goblin Spears versus Elven Spears will obviously go to the elves. Chase down the enemy lord as well. And it looks like the goblin boss does not lose his head like his orky friends have in the past. The balance of power is still only about 65% in our favor, so there's still plenty of enemy units to kill, and though it looks like no more of their cavalry are capable of fighting, having broken themselves upon the lines of spears one time too many. Alrighty, and our damage-dealing Athel Tamara Faith Bearer is up to 100 kills. Very, very nice. And it looks like the units they were fighting and getting chased away as well. Eltharion has once again arrived and is going after the second enemy boss here, who is also completely surrounded by spears and by Henry here, who's getting knocked back. Alright, a little bit of a dark map, but you know what? All the other maps have not been as dark, so I'm not gonna complain about it. It's variety, if nothing else. Anyway, it looks like the enemy lord is pretty much done for, and as the lord wavers, so does it look like the rest of his army is wavering. Our rangers are trying to chase off those archers, but it does look like they do have some Savage Orc boys reinforcing. It does not, however, look like the enemy army is broken as yet. Ah, there we go. The enemy lord goes down. But I think because there is a pocket of fighting still happening here, a lot of the enemy units are routing and then rallying, so we need to be careful as to not overextend our forces. May even have to move them back, or in the alternative, just shatter these guys, as if they shatter, I believe the rest of the enemy army will shatter as well. Oh, and it looks like they all turn at the same time, speak of the devil, and with them the rest of the army goes. Fantastic. Another victory for us, though obviously we have taken damage this time. We can see a lot of our units are at about half HP at this point in time. And it is obviously my fault due to the march stance, but clearly if this army gets destroyed and if we can catch out a decent number of the enemy units, it will have been worth it. Alrighty, not bad. That one was reasonably difficult. The enemy had a fairly decent balance of units. The Feral Wyvern, a couple of units of Trolls to give them the punch of monstrous infantry, the nasty Skulkers to pierce armor and dish out damage, as well as a sizable amount of cav, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, and range units. Not bad, orcs. Not bad at all. We are going to force labor here. I don't see much of a choice in the matter, as we need them to... we need to be healed up, as we won't heal here, and unfortunately a fairly sizable portion of the enemy army did escape. You want that military access. You're gonna be dead very shortly, so I'm not gonna bother making any alliances with you. Knights of Origo, I expect you to be dead as well. I'd like to talk to Raponce instead of you. Let's see, Faction Destroyed, we've already seen that one, and hey, Eltharion's got Stormwing now, so he just got a fairly decent upgrade in terms of his own battle prowess. We will once again continue waiting on the dedicated Teladriel until we get more Faith Breakers, which will actually happen fairly shortly. We can get in 2 turns the tier 3. One of these will have to be the Oath Gold Mine, but we're gonna have to try to make room for the Mistwalker's Sanctum as well. Gotta get those Faith Bearers. They can dish out the damage for us. We will also probably want to get a mage up and running, as in another mage, to actually provide a few more buffs to the army, or possibly another lore master to help Henry out. Do we want to do anything here right now, I guess is the question. And ooh, what are you doing? Huh. Stars of Morcaine. I think there's a decent likelihood that they're going to attack us here at Galbaraz. Can they take it? Is the question. Well, I certainly hope that they don't, but we may not have much of an option. Either way, or much choice in the matter. Either way, we gotta destroy the rest of this, so let's get on that. You are gonna get your upgrade now. We do spam Apotheosis pretty much constantly. We can get Speed of Assyrian, but frankly, you're already insanely quick. Your army will not benefit currently from higher rank stuff, but it will eventually. This will give you Warden's Stand. But we'll have to spend 3 points to get there. Now, we're definitely going to get various types of elite units out of Master Strategist. We're probably also going to want Vanguard Master for some Dragon Princes and War Lions. Maybe some Lion Chariots until we can get Dragon Princes, which will probably mean we'll bypass Illyrian Reavers and Silver Helms, mostly because I don't want to waste too many points, especially because we'll want to get at least some of the magics on Eltharion. Alright, fine. We're going to start moving through Master Strategist and or Vanguard Master for now. You know what? Master Strategist comes in fairly late, so maybe we'll be better off getting Vanguard. Oh! I didn't realize it. Root Marcher still needs to be gotten. Let's get the Root Marcher first. Then, Henry, you're gonna get magical reserves, and then we'll start on the other stuff in your tree later. Let's destroy the rest of this. Although, I hesitate to... I wonder if we can auto-resolve this without taking too much damage. How much is the game gonna screw us on this? Let's find out. Oh, that wasn't so bad. And we got a free Gleaming Pendant out of it. We will have to heal, like so. And now we have a quest for 2 provinces. I guess the question is which ones. Morgheim and the Sunken Karnak and the Floating Village might not be the worst options as our second province, mostly because they're kind of difficult to reach because of all the swampland. On the other hand, it'll be difficult for us to defend there as well, so... hard to say. I'm just wondering whether we should take Western Badlands for ourselves as a second province or no. The problem is, it's a fairly exposed territory. If we were to take, for example, something like Agrul Migdal through to Death Gorge, which will also give us benefits here, that might be better. We can just erase this for now. Also, what do we have in terms of defenders? Kind of trash at Ekrund and the Dragonhorn mines, eh? I can also sack them. Wait. Let's see if I can get this right. Go here. And oh, damn, there's a full stack here. Ah, I didn't see that. I should have chosen Ekrund. They're gonna defend Ekrund then. And we'll have to fight them.
Strike them down.
And what I was gonna do is I was going to auto-resolve this, then sack it. Well, we're gonna auto-resolve it either way, that won't change, but nonetheless. Auto-resolve this quickly, and another standard of discipline. We're going to... 1 more point. You know what, maybe we'll just raise it instead of sacking it then. Screw it, raise it. Alright, this gives us no more movement, unfortunately, but I think we could take 1 army even with a law. And frankly, if they attack us, it might be a benefit to us as well. If they defend Ekrund, it'll be a little bit more problematic, however. This does give us Warden Supply up to 5, which will give us the Watchers of Yvresse, the Interrogation Chamber. Yes. Alright, so Interrogation Chamber, upgrade this, which will allow us to interrogate demons. Ability Ruin Shelter for Mistwalker units. Ruin Shelter? What's the name of my house? Armor plus 45 and melee defense plus 10 and melee attack +8. Let's go with you. So, and that's you, and then what do you give us? The mirror ability. You can get both, right?
All you have to do
Lovely.
is talk.
Okie dokie.
Never.
Well, those guys will be dead eventually, but for now we're good. Let's level up again, just in case we get attacked, which is certainly a distinct possibility. Start putting some points into Vanguard Master, and... You know, let's get 1 point in Melkoth's, and just so that we have an ability to cast it, even though I love Wissen's Wild Form, and I do cast it often as well. Ooh, 2 more turns until the upgrade, so skip, and turn. Let's see what the Ghoul King does here. And repulse the tide. Oh, I was actually supposed to capture this place, of course. My bad. But we needed to raise it too. We could always occupy it if we decide to do so. Looks like he's sitting down there. Hero recruited at Galbaraz Noble. Well, that's a lot of zombies and stuff for you. Practiced. Melee attack for Spearman and Silverian Guard. Oh, fantastic. We'll make use of you. Go into this army for now. I'm going to summon the Talons of Torquelada, though obviously not use them in range. Border Prince is destroyed. Yeah, okay, well, we were expecting that one. And you know what? Summon the Heralds of Ariel as well. Heralds of the Wind, rather. Heralds of Ariel are a different thing. You can also recruit, let's say, a unit of Rangers. And let's level you up a little bit. Militia Master. Anything else? I get Sarut Marcher. Alright, I really don't want to lose Galbaraz, but Eltharion and be busy. Let's see, ooh. So it looks like we would be able to attack you out in the field. Now this is gonna be a difficult fight, but at least we'll get to see Eltharion on Stormwing and see how he performs. Also, we have ourselves another technology to choose from, which is gonna have to be... most of these are completely useless to us because we'll never use them. We might build some eagles. We'll definitely build some war lines, so let's go for swift sets. Eagles are melee monsters, after all. Alright. Let's do this one. And Pyrrhic victory this time, and even more enemies, and we're hurt as well. I really should learn to not auto-resolve things, but, well, too bad. Let's put the standard of discipline on... the lore master, rather. Here we go again.
Whatever aids Yvresse.
Eltharion protects his loyal servants.
Alrighty, I'm glad we get to try the mount out this episode, and aren't you pretty? And aha, so Eltharion does take up his sword once again, so he has it sheathed when he's on a horse, but not so much on Stormwing. Fantastic. Alrighty, well, let's see how he does here, though I have a feeling this might actually be the most difficult of the fights against the orcs so far. So the problem here is that... Okay, Eltharion, just relax. 1 second, buddy. The problem here is that other than the fact that we're hurt and about half of our army is at half HP, and the enemy has 2 full stacks and 4 units of monstrous infantry, i.e. trolls to their name, the problem is this is a underway battle, not an underway interception, but an underway battle, which is much worse, much worse than an underway interception, for the reason that the enemy can run off the sides easily once their units are heavily damaged and not get chased down, which is obviously quite an issue. And then for the second issue, which is the fact that there is not enough space in these battles to get around the enemy and make good use of our rangers and chase them down, which means we're going to have to fight in a sort of melee line slash blob, which the spearmen are not good at. They're supposed to be an anvil, and even the Silverian Guard are supposed to be an anvil and hold the line, not dish damage out. And this is the reason why we built Rangers in the first place, rather than just leave it to be a pile of Rangers, or a pile of Rangers, pile of spears. But oh well, we'll see if we can overcome. At least we now have our flying mount for Eltharion, so that should increase his capabilities a decent bit. For now, he's just here getting some kills and annoying the enemy as best he can. I was hoping to knock a few of the enemy trolls out, but there seems to be way too many gobos and orcs around him, so he's not really going to be capable of doing that. Not really all that hurt, but nonetheless, we'll move him out and then we'll try to go after that goblin great shaman, hopefully before it can cast anything significant at the rest of our army. Alrighty, and the rest of the enemy army, while Eltharion goes after the enemy lord, will head directly towards our main line, which is probably going to be a little bit more interesting than Eltharion getting in a few free hits against apparently not the enemy lord, but this arranged unit, this archer unit, that did move in to try to bail it out. But on the bright side, it'll mean free kills against said archers. Alrighty, well, here come the enemies in a fairly big blob as well. I did leave a couple of holes in our line this time, here and here, so that we can move our rangers in through them, or if the enemy moves through them, surround whatever enemy units move through and mince them with our anti-infantry rangers. At least that's the idea. Whether it'll actually work out that way remains to be seen. It's going to be a fight for this army's lives here, as there's a lot of enemies and we can't surround them and get the advantage that we usually do, or have in pretty much every battle so far. Definitely have to watch out for attacking enemies in this stance because of it. Alrighty, here come those trolls moving into the Eltharion Faith Bearers. And we would actually prefer to be using spears against them, but we do have another spear unit right behind them, which will hopefully move up to help. And a second unit of trolls moves in to help out. The trolls are going to be quite the issue. The enemy has also done a fairly decent job spreading them out. There's a troll unit here on the flanks, another troll unit here on the other flank, and then both units of trolls trying to break our best unit, the Eltharion Faith Bearers. I'm actually surprised at the AI for doing a decent job with its rock, paper, scissoring here. Nice job, AI. And now it's just a simple matter of trying to hold the line. The Rangers have come in now that they are unlikely to take a charge from the enemy or to get focused down by the enemy ranged units. And the charges have been blunted, and now our Rangers can hopefully dish out some damage where they're not as liable to get killed. Alrighty, big old melee line. Gonna have to get used to this for the rest of this campaign, short though it will be. And we also have Henry Cavill trying to move out and knock out the enemy Night Goblin war boss, but he's having a little bit of a difficult time wading through the onslaught of orcs and trolls. Yeah, we really need to get some... I mean, technically speaking, the Silveran Guard and the Spears are fairly okay at dealing with monstrous units and monstrous infantry, but we're really going to need Phoenix Guard to act as anti-monstrous specialists. And the additional damage, the lower unit count, and the armor piercing that they have will be much, much more effective than either of these two units are. And damn, that is still a lot of melee units, and as we can see, Eltharion's being absolutely focused down by so many range units. He is down to about a third of his HP and has in fact reached his healing cap. Yeah, gotta be careful there, buddy. And ooh, the smoke bomb comes in at an appropriate time from the enemy nasty skulkers, slowing him down and allowing the enemy range units to hit him a little bit more, though it looks like a decent amount of those arrows will, by missing him, land in the pile of the enemy's own units as well. Alrighty, I like the glow that the lore masters have. It makes it look like they have like a personal shield sort of thing. I've got a Rosarius on them somehow. Anyway, still holding the line, but finally we have managed to make a break through the enemy center by forcing both of the enemy troll units to rout. It does look like one's coming back, but Spears, Athel Tamara Faithbearers, and Rangers, and whatever other spare units we have are going to break through the line and try to reach those enemy range units, as we can't have them continue to fire. This is where the AI made something of an error. It sent those 2 units of monstrous infantry, those 2 units of trolls, by themselves, and trolls have notoriously low leadership, and generally speaking you want to use monstrous infantry in conjunction with regular infantry, as they work quite well together, rather than leaving them to fend for themselves, and thus forcing a break in your center line, which is going to be pretty instrumental to, hopefully, us winning. Unfortunately for us, the balance of power is still in the enemy's favor, and we can see quite a lot of our units are very heavily damaged. The Signs of Mathlan are down to a sliver of HP, and actually a bunch of our units are down to only a sliver. Fortunately, it looks like Henry Cavill has finally found the enemy lord, and the second enemy lord has been found by Eltharion as well, so hopefully both lords will be ripped apart shortly, which will mean a fairly decent morale shot to the enemy, which is what we're after. Alright, the Goblin Shaman is booking it out of there, and our Rangers have arrived to start mincing those damn Goblin Archers, which it did such a number on poor Eltharion. I'm definitely gonna have to give him that missile resistance upgrade later on. He's gonna need it. Alrighty, and the Athel Tamara Faithbearers are down to only 16 units, which means we're gonna start moving them away. I'd rather them not die. On the bright side, a few more units have collapsed in the enemy line here, which means we can send more spears in to deal with the enemy that are chasing. Alrighty, and if you don't miss the enemy lord again, we can hopefully bring him down. I'm gonna see if there's any unique animation to this for Stormwing. Did he just get bowled? Is he dead? No, he's gonna get back up. This guy got bowled over, it looked like. Alright, come on. Do something. Oh man, come on. What are you doing to me? Try again. There we go. Now it looks like just a swipe of the claw and the enemy lord is down. Hopefully someday they'll add a few more unique animations to some of the older lords, especially as some of the newer lords would obviously share skeletons with some of the older, so you can still at least partially use their animations. Oh man, we are certainly getting outnumbered in a lot of places. Tiny amounts of spears are holding back massive amounts of orcs in various places, but it does look like we've finally started to hit the enemy from multiple sides in the main line, even if the center is still struggling by virtue of us having peeled away from our own main line. If we can collapse the enemy's main line, it won't matter. Alright, and we've sent Eltharion back into the fray, as is appropriate. Getting a little bit more of that Mistwalker barrage in the middle of the enemy formation, and the balance of power has finally shifted to our favor. Instead, the enemy lord has routed, and it looks like fear and terror caused by Stormwing is causing this line to run away as well. Plus, we needed Eltharion to deal with those damn trolls. And it looks like with that, the enemy army is finally ready to go. Ooh, look at the damage on all of our troops. Fantastic. In fact, I would absolutely love to get to the... I think the trait is called Bloody. There's a trait that you can get when you suffer very high casualties in multiple battles, and I almost never ever get this trait on any lords, even though it's a great trait and it's almost worth farming for, but yeah, maybe we'll manage to get it in this particular campaign, who knows. It's so rare for me, I almost never see it. But anyway, let's chase him down. I'm just gonna speed past this. Ooh, alrighty, very nice. I love to see me some Pyrrhic victories from these melee battles. 'Tis certainly a glorious time. We are obviously going to heal up. Oh, we did lose one of our spears, but I guess they're only spears, and they will be replaced by silver and guards soon, so it's not gonna matter all that much. More importantly, we can heal up. Then, here's a question. Are we able to reach you again? No, we have to go through Ekrond, and in fact we can't move, but that's fine. Storm Riders, Lothar and Seaguard will put you in place of the spears that we lost temporarily, and then we'll go back and fight to the dead. Now let's level up briefly. We'll probably want to start making Eltharion a slightly stronger fighter, mostly because we don't have enough Miststalkers to bother with, and on the other hand we could just get Warden's Stand, which ain't too bad either. I really wanted to get hard to hit, though in that particular battle was the enemy missile fire, and that was problematic for Eltharion. Nonetheless, we're so close to Vanguard Master and Warden's Stand that we may as well. And we will also level you up to get, let's say, Harmonic Convergence. We should probably also get Spirit Leech. Well, I mean, we'll get everything, but Spirit Leech specifically for the... Ow! We're going to have to manually fight this? Huh. Really this? Alright, we can manually fight this. I'm going to, like, manually fight this super quick, as I don't imagine this should be a problematic battle at all. And I'm also just going to speed through it because we want to take Ekrond and maybe we'll occupy it. If we occupy it, we can at least sit there for a few turns. And, well, maybe not a few turns, but a turn. And heal up a little bit more than we normally do. Let's see. I have reinforcements from off screen over here. Well, that ain't great for them. We just kill them as they arrive on the field. Let's do that and then we'll march. Let's do something like... you four, who have the most HP. Man, this is not a great position for the enemy. Give them some space to actually take a formation here, but otherwise, we should be okay. Signs of Mathan, I want you in the back line because you will provide your auras. The Faith Bearers, you can move away, though, because you're badly damaged now. Now, let's do this. And who else is available? Let's say you. Alright, you're gonna be the main line, group 3, you're gonna be group 1, group 2, then you guys are gonna be the damage dealers, and then we'll go for the walls afterwards. Like so. Alright, let's say group... you can be part of this. Let's say group 4, and then these guys are all probably too damaged to take part, but we can put them in a separate group. Start battle. Like so. Eltharion, get ready to start healing yourself. Like so, and like so. Try to get him up to full HP before the battle starts. No guarantee of it, of course, but keep giving it a try. Like so. And a little bit more and he'll be okay, most likely. Apotheosis yourself, buddy, and get another Earth Blood. This is going to cost quite a bit of our mana, but, well, whatever. And alright, the enemies are here, which means you guys group up and attack. Eltharion, go for the main enemy. You can support. There we go, and then you guys move to the back line, hit the enemy in the back. Fantastic. We'll also want to pop Vissen's... I wanted to overcast Vissen's Wild Form here, but we're going to have to wait until we have one more mana. Or Winds of Magic, or whatever it's called, and then you guys just move into the back. Might not even be needed. Actually, I think we're fine without it. Alright, you guys charge. Eltharion's doing his thing. The enemy lord should be done for shortly. Rangers get back into the, well, backs of the enemy. There we go. Alright, they're running. This army will be destroyed because it's got nothing left. As in, it already backed off from being destroyed previous battle. Alrighty, that looks good to me. Wait until the rest of these guys are good. Eltharion start moving. You're going to start clearing the walls, and everybody else can approach the enemy settlement. Alrighty, group 3. Recollect yourselves, like so. Reposition, whatever. Hey, don't stand in the towers. Don't stand where they can hit you, buddy. Alrighty, like so. Eltharion. Always feels so weird playing it at max speed. Eltharion, you are going to start clearing them walls. There's no enemy lord in here, is there? I don't think that there is. Which means wall clear should be easy enough. And are they also going to leave the walls, or are they going to be willing to fight here? Guess we're about to find out. Alright, Eltharion. Oh, you have reached your healing cap. Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate. I wasn't quite expecting that, but it's fine. Heal yourself nonetheless. You gotta be kidding me. These guys came back. I didn't even notice them. Alright, group 5, since you're not participating in the main battle, you can deal with them, Eltharion. Keep killing anything you can get your, let's say, hands or paws on. Claws, talons. I mean, it's not your personal talons, but Stormwing's talons, but you know what I mean. Go up to those Savage Orc era boys. Alrighty, and you've basically reached your healing cap, but you can do a little bit more damage. Those towers are going to be a little bit annoying. How's the rest of the army? They are drawn closer. We need them all to actually be right there. Actually, right there. And we could just re-heal Eltharion next battle in the same way that we did for this one. And speed it back up. Yeah, this is why I felt like this was probably auto-resolvable. And was a little bit surprised that it wasn't, but And Eltharion, you don't have any source of regeneration, do you? I don't think you do. Or do you? Pretty sure he doesn't. And wait, what is this? Oh, that's just Mistwalker's Barrage. Yeah, no, he's not regenerating, but his healing cap seems to continue. Oh, trolls. No, don't fight those. Don't fight those. Those will damage you too heavily. You can fight on the wall again. Let's get the Lore Master in here, and then everybody else approach those walls. Alright, there we go. And then you get back up on the walls, go after those Savage Orc Error boys, and speed it back up to max. We can also have you break apart a few of these towers if the Error boys don't want to fight you. Just gotta be careful about getting knocked out of the sky by the damage from them. Fortunately, they're not what you would call super accurate, so we should be okay. Also gotta remember that we do have armor of the stars if we really feel like getting the heck out of there. Yeah, you're okay. Break through the walls there. Everybody else is nearly there. What the heck happened to you guys? Don't be in a column formation, please. This is not the time. Pretty much never the time to be in a column formation, actually, but well, you do you, I guess. At least for now. And Tower 1 is done. Go to Tower 2. How's that, Lore Master? Nearly broken through. Rangers, I guess you're going in first, mostly because you have more HP than anybody else does. Alright, let's speed it back down to normal speed. Hide in the shadow of the walls. And Group 4, you're all going after that gate. How are you doing?
Blood and vengeance.
Alright, I've actually moved into a place where there's more towers attacking. Maybe just ignore this one and go after the Savage Orcs there. As long as the trolls aren't threatening us, we should be okay. I also want this particular Silverian Guard in here ASAP. Alright, I'm gonna take a little bit of damage while that gate goes down, but it's nearly done for. Eltharion, get ready to charge and land. Let's activate your Potion of Strength while we're at it. And just to get rid of that boss lord unit, whatever. Are the trolls guarding the gate? They are not. Alright, and we're through, which means everybody stream on into the city. That's all of you. No. You stream on in. And so do you, Henry. Lead the charge. Alright, and the battle should be ours any second now. Alright, how's that enemy boss unit, lord unit, whatever? Still fighting. Good job to it, if nothing else. You guys go here, please. I'm actually shocked that none of them are trying to climb, because they pretty much always try to climb, and not this time. Lore Master, I'm gonna face off against those trolls. As the Rangers aren't adept to it, or adept at it, we will have the Silverian Guard head towards them, and then let's get the Signs of Mathlan in here so that they can provide their aura. Let's buff everybody up with a nice Viscence Wild form, and you keep chasing down those Savage Orcs. And, ooh, looks like you're taking damage. Apotheosis, Potion of Toughness, heal yourself, speed it up, battle's out. Alright, let's let him heal a few seconds. Actually, no, that'll just do more damage to Eltharion. I keep wanting to say Imric. Now that he's flying around, it makes me think of Imric. But anyway, 49 losses, not too bad. Probably could have reduced that even further by not doing it at max speed, but at the same time, it's not bad enough to be concerned with. Alrighty, and we will... While I would love to raise it, I truly would, I think we're going to loot and occupy. We may abandon it, but I think this will allow us to heal here, and we'll need to do that. We'll also get the storm... I mean, they'll still probably, let's see, 35-55 base versus 30-57. Huh. Actually not that much better. And then they have lower HP and lower model count. The lower model count isn't... It can also be a good thing. So, you know what, just actually rebuild your spears. Will be... Oh, hello, what do we have here? Henry Cavill has proven themselves to be one of Yvresse's finest warriors, and can now be inducted into the ranks of the Mistwalkers if you so wish. Gains trait, Mistwalker Watcher. Campaign movement range, it doesn't really help here. Gains trait The Shadow, enables stock and magical attacks. I'm 99% sure that they automatically have magical attacks. And then lastly, melee defense plus 8, control plus 5, leadership aura size when defending, and physical resistance. I'm gonna go with the Sentinel. I would be very tempted by Mistwalker's Shadow. Ooh, enemy hero action success chance. The only thing I don't know about this is whether it applies to the Lord's army. And if it doesn't, it's not that helpful, is it? Let's go with Mistwalker's Sentinel. It feels like the safest one. There you go. And you got this now. Beautiful. Melee defense plus 8 and physical resistance 10 and leadership aura size, all of which will be helpful here. I don't think we really care about Khorne itself, but, you know, we'll just leave it and use it to heal and then probably raise or sack around. Anyway, with that, we are out of time, and I'm going to have to call the episode here. Next time, there's a fairly decent likelihood that we'll be attacking against 2 full stacks of the dead as they attack Galbarez, but that should be... It should be fine and glorious. And you know what? You can have the Scions of Meth, oh, not the Scions of Meth, and the Storm Riders as well to get a few extra units on those walls. We'll see how the enemy manage to take those, and if not... I mean, if we have a difficult time defending, we'll send Eltharion to deal with them himself. He still has a lot more fun to have in melee against everybody around here. Anyway, stay tuned for more. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm.
No failure.
And thanks for watching.